Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. Today is Mangler Squig Day. This day has been a long time coming. Now, I like to think I'd get them all finished in one go. It'd be amazing if I could do this in like 2 hours, but I know I'm kidding myself. I was thinking maybe 4 hours and I get it all done, but I know what's going to happen. Or here's my guess, is I'm going to spend like 4 hours and all I'll have done is finished painting them red, as is my way. But there we go. I'm gonna see if I can do them quick but good, and it's just gonna take me ages. I know it. As much as I'm like, yeah, I'll just paint it red, pick out their teeth, paint the goblins, and do the metal, do the base, and they're done. It's never as quick as that makes it sound. But there we go. That's the plan anyway. But it will take a lot longer. What I'm gonna do, because this will make me feel like I'm doing it really quick, I'm gonna start by dry brushing the black cloaks on these two goblins. Oh, they got dusty because I've been sitting in so long. I've just been doing so many other things. You can see over here my Beastmen army, because I just recorded the Beastman video. So I do have these 4 gores to paint to make that gore unit, and then I'm trying to work out what to do with this guy. I need to give him a shield, because I bought him a shield, and I don't know what shield to give him. The Beastman shields are too small. These Chaos shields are a little bit small. I'm going to put this on here. I'm sidetracked again already. I literally picked up a paintbrush to paint the Mangler Squigs, and I failed. So I've got this shield, but it just looks a little bit tiny, I think. The other option is I've got Archaon shield. I bought a whole bunch of, I say Archaon shield. The metal Archaon on Steed. That doesn't help. There were 2 metal Archaons on Steed. Where did I put them? I had them the other day. Was that them? No, that's not. You could probably tell I walked away. I don't know where I put them. I definitely was looking at them the other day. Never mind, doesn't matter. I decided they were too small. Probably too small. Sorry, I'm kicking my camera now. They're basically the same size as this, just a little bit more flashy. But I don't know, maybe it's all right. It just probably is a little bit small. Is it too small or is it all right? Let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's okay. I'll put him, have him holding a shield of some variety, whatever that looks like. I'm very conscious that this shield I gave this guy is massive. It's like the biggest shield ever. It's like the front of a wheel from the green stuff, the back of this. Yeah, it's the front of a wheel from the siege tower, the plastic siege tower for Warhammer Siege. Yeah, I did green stuff, the back of that shield. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, so that's too big. I don't want a shield that big. And then that's an Ungor shield. So that is slightly smaller than a normal Beastman shield. Let me find a normal Beastman shield. Where are they? Here they are. So this is the normal Beastman shield size. I think it looks a little bit small. I don't know how well you can see that. I could just cut it out, but I'm not sure I can move it. I'll just end up losing it probably. Although it matters too much. The other thing is it's got like this wispy hair on it, which will be in a wrong direction. All the others they're no better, because they've got these dangly chains. And I guess I could have him holding it like that if I was bothered about the dangles. But I think that shield just looks a little bit small and not quite cool enough for a character, particularly like a Lord level Doomball. So maybe I will go with this one. Maybe that'll be fine, but not today. All right, today is Mangler Squig Day. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you wanted to see Mangler Squigs getting painted. But I mean, there is a chance it's just because you wanted to hear me talk nonsense. So if that's why you're here, because you want to hear me talk nonsense, congratulations, your wish has been fulfilled. Right, I'm going to mix up a little bit of grey. I probably should get an actual grey at some point, but I just haven't done. I don't need much, but I'm conscious it's probably not gonna mix a really good colour if I don't have a decent amount. I always need to check my white. The lid is firmly secured, unlike the day when I shook my yellow and got it everywhere. Look, even my my Rhinox hide is tainted from the yellow shaking incident. Actually, so is this. I'm gonna blame the yellow shaking incident for these. It could just be because I made a mess at other points. Right, let's see if that grey might be a tad light actually. Probably just make sure it's an actual dry brush. And normally my dry brushes are normally not particularly dry, and they're quite moist. So let's make this an actual dry brush, and then it'll probably be fine. Right, so I'm just gonna. Oh my! It's too close to my camera. I'm poking my. How do I hold this and not knock my light over with my camera and be able to see what I'm doing? That's quite the combination. Oh, that was way too much. Oh well. Right, I'm going to rub off a little bit more on the brush. Also, I think I am going to raise this a tiny bit, just so I can do, at the very least this stage, because it's really hard to do it when it's so close to the light. There. I do quite like these goblins, like hanging off it. If you watch the video where I made this, there's a couple of reasons why I didn't stick all the goblins on it. One, I want the option of making more Mangler Squigs, and it'd be nice to have some variety. Another reason is if I really want to make a couple of war bosses on giant squigs using these, so I need as much variety as I can get. If I want to make another Mangler Squig as a Mangler Squig, and then another one as two separate war bosses, I really don't want any of them looking the same at all. That's why I need lots of variety. But I don't know if I'm actually going to make war bosses out of these. It depends on how well the squig hoppers work in open order formation, because you can't put your war boss on giant squig in squig hoppers in skirmish formation. If you could, they would be excellent. I know, because I played a game with them like that before I realised you couldn't, and they were excellent. However, I have played one game with them in open order, and they did fine. No complaints. I don't think they would have done any better if they were in skirmish formation. So, but that's only one game, so I'm not really taking that as definitive. I think I've done too much on, I don't know if you can see, I think it's probably too much on him, but never mind. And this guy as well, he's looking a little bit grey, but maybe by the time the rest of it's painted, he'll look fine. Cool, there we go. All right, that was the easiest part of the model. That's why I did it first. But well, that's not why I did it first. I did it first because it was a messy part. I don't particularly want to make more mess. And without making, if I did it later on, I'd have to do it in a different manner. Because I wouldn't want to make a mess everywhere. Right, let's paint it Rhinox hide next. Just going to put this back down. Right, I don't think I've done a painting video in a while. Oh no, that's not strictly true. The last painting video was the Foot of Gorge one. but it wasn't like a model for my army. I think it was the Boingrot Bounders. I've got YouTube open in front of me. When did I paint the Boingrot Bounders? 20th of April? How long ago was that? What's the date today? 16th of May? Blimey. That's almost a month. Yeah. The last thing I did was the Foot of Gork. When was that? 4th of May. So that was a couple of weeks ago almost. Wow. I've really been slacking on my painting. My rate of releasing videos has gone down quite dramatically. It was a little bit unsustainable, the pace that I was releasing them when I first started the channel. I was releasing, wow, I ramped up to like 6 a day at one point. 6 a day. I'm not sure I'm even doing 6 a week now. But there we go. Still, they're there now. So that's all good. I mean, in fairness, I have moved from when I first started my videos. If you look at the very first videos, they're like between 10 and 20 minutes. Because I was thinking that videos had to be within that sort of range, 10-20 minutes, to be suitable to have on YouTube for anyone to watch them. It turns out people quite like long form videos these days. And yeah, I was speaking to my daughter about it actually. Why she was telling me why she likes long videos is because it means she doesn't have to find other videos. She can just find a long one and then she knows she's set for the next couple of hours. And yeah, it's a fair observation. I mean, I certainly have been in that place as well. I particularly like Lex Friedman's podcast because his videos are very long. They're like between 1 and 5 hours, and they're very good, particularly for a long car drive. But yeah, so I think there's certainly a place for long form videos, and I think that is a I don't know if that's the primary driver. Maybe it's the primary driver for looking for long videos. Is that means you're set and you don't have to look for something else for a little while. You know what? Thinking about it now that I'm thinking about it, that actually is a massive use of time. Is just like scrolling through YouTube to find something interesting to watch, and that in itself can just take like 20 minutes scrolling through trying to find something interesting. So yeah, it can be quite a big use of time. Maybe it's just me that sits there for ages scrolling through trying to find something interesting to watch. Sometimes, although ironically, sometimes it's because like, oh, I don't have long, I need to find a video that's short enough to watch and then spend the entire time spend longer looking for short video than watching a video. That is definitely a thing. Well, certainly that's a trap that I've fallen into. Maybe it's just me. It's a weird age we live in, isn't it? Back when I was a lad, you only had like a couple of channels of TV. You just it did not take long to flick through like 4 channels and see which of them was showing something you were actually interested in. To be fair, I was a kid for most of that time, so if it wasn't a cartoon, I probably wasn't interested. It's an interesting thought that there once was a time when there wasn't anything interesting to do that was screen related. Because like, oh, it's the news, I don't want to watch the news because I'm like 10. I don't care about the news. Give me Thundercats, then I'll care. But yeah, never mind. And then, so it's like there were better things to do than screen, just because screen And I'm talking about terrestrial TV back in those days. But yeah, just because it wasn't so interesting. What a much richer and diverse life we led. And we'd actually go and do things like go do stuff outside, or read a book. Reading a book. I used to read so many books. Now my mind has been corrupted and I very rarely read. I've just started getting back into the habit of reading in the mornings again. But it's not consistent. It's only when I wake up earlier than I need to and realise I've got some time. And I make a conscious effort to try and not to go on my phone until I've actually got up and dressed. I'm not going to lie, I don't succeed in that all the time. But it's I think it's a valiant attempt. This is actually quite good. I really like that I have Warhammer the Old World back as something to do that's not like screen related per se. Obviously, well, I mean, I'm not. Before I was recording YouTube videos, I was watching YouTube videos whilst painting my miniatures, which I imagine is what you're doing right now. If you're watching something like this, there's a good chance you're doing something hobby related. But yeah, I mean, that's what I used to do. Now, interesting. I don't do much of my hobby whilst watching YouTube videos because I'm recording them. So there we go. Which means I don't watch that many long YouTube videos anymore. Like I mentioned, something like Lex Friedman podcast when I'm driving because I'm not doing anything else. So it's easier. But yeah, I did used to watch a lot of. Wow. For a brief period of time, I watched a load of old world related YouTube videos. I don't tend to watch many now. I do like Jordan Sorcery, particularly because he does a really good job of exploring the history of Games Workshop. I don't know. I'm a fan of Games Workshop. I do like its history, and having worked there, I see some of the stuff that he talks about. Covers I recognise, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so there you go. If you haven't checked out Jordan Sorcery, I would thoroughly recommend it. Recommend his channel. If you're watching this, you must like Warhammer on some level. But there's a good bit of nostalgia. I think that's what he's tapping into, really, for me anyway, is the nostalgia of Warhammer and the old days and classic versions of it. But it's also interesting for like first edition, second edition. Well, I didn't play third and fourth edition actually either. But I do have. I think I've got second, third, and fourth, and fifth. I think I've got every edition from second. Yes, I think that's true. I don't have first. But I've not played them. I've played everything from 5th edition, and I only very briefly played 8th edition, like the most briefest, I think. I can't remember if I played more than one game of 8th edition. I completely missed the end times. And I did play a couple of games of Age of Sigmar when it first came out, but when it first came out, it was essentially just skirmish rules for all your old world armies. And that's basically what it was. So that's what we did. I say skirmish rules. I still played with my units on movement trays in first edition Age of Sigmar. Just moved them around on movement trays. So, but I didn't really play it very much. I played a few games with some friends just to kind of try it out. It didn't really have any sticking power. It was more just a curiosity rather than anything else. Then, like, I remember, yeah, it was about 2019, wasn't it, when they announced Old World, which is really interesting. Let's think about it. We almost waited as long for Old World as, wait, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that Old World was destroyed in 2015, I think that's what it was, 2015. And not Old World, Warhammer. The Warhammer setting, the Warhammer Old World setting was destroyed in 2015 when Age of Sigmar came out. This is my recollection. Those dates may not be accurate, but this is my recollection. And bear in mind, I wasn't really following it particularly well at the time, but I somehow got wind of the Age of Sigmar release. I don't even remember how that came about, but it did. And yeah, so that was 2015, and then the Old World was announced with the Everything Comes Around Even Squares in 2019, right? So that was a 4-year hiatus for Old World. And then we waited till 2024. So the gap between, like, the death of Old World really only lasted 4 years. Because in 2019, we knew Old World was coming back. Well, I say we knew Old World was coming back. There was so much speculation, ridiculous speculation, about would it be War Master? I can't even remember the others. There were a whole bunch of things. Oh, was it even going to be square bases, or was it going to be round bases? Was it essentially going to be War Master? It was, I don't know, it was quite surreal to have all these suggestions going on when it was, at least to me, it felt quite obvious it was literally just going to be Warhammer coming back. I even did a post about it in like 2019 saying, here's what I think is going to happen, and basically that's exactly what they've done. I was like, they're just going to re-release all the old stuff, and then gradually release new stuff and add new models to the old stuff. And, loads of people mocked it. A whole bunch of people were like, yep, that's what's going to happen. And yeah, it did happen. So there you go. So I managed to call that. But I mean, that's basically what I would have done. I feel like I can say that a little bit, for a couple of reasons. One, I knew a bunch about the manufacturing process for Warhammer, but also my day job is I'm a program delivery manager for agile projects, and that's essentially the approach that I would take. So I got a little bit of understanding of these things, a little bit. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but I feel like I did manage to call it. Now I get to play with my toys again. Wow. So anyway, I after the jubilation of Old World being announced, I did start to paint some of my stuff, particularly over lockdown, because that was a good pastime, and yeah, got some stuff for my son. What did he start with? Trying to remember. I can't remember if I gave him a 6th edition box set first, or if he bought some lizard men. I remember he bought the two, they weren't battalions, but the getting started box sets for lizardmen for Age of Sigmar. One which was the Saurus box. So they were 50 quid. They were very good boxes, and I am a bit gutted that I didn't get more of them. Any of them. I didn't get any of them. My son, like I say, my son got the two lizardmen ones, the skink one and the Saurus one. And that basically gave him like a 1500 point army. So, and that's very good. 100 quid for a 1500 point army. It was excellent. I wasn't even 100 quid because we got it from like third party. So it was like somewhere between 80 and 90 quid with the discounts. I guess it was probably about 80 quid, maybe 79, something, I don't know. So yeah, excellent price for pushing a 2000 point army. Although in 6th edition, you didn't really have many core units because you got a unit of skinks and a unit of Saurus out of it. But in Old World is a little bit easier on the core units, because where you used to have X amount of units, core units, now you don't. Now you just have to have a number of points. So you can take one core unit that takes up a whole bunch of points. And there's lots of allowing you to have like special units as core units if you take the right character. So Black Orcs, for example, in the Orc and Goblin army, you can have Black Orcs as a core unit instead of a special unit. So the core unit rules are a lot more relaxed than they used to be in, say, 6th edition and 7th edition. I can't really talk about 8th edition because I do not remember the books very well at all. And I've got a whole bunch of them, but like I say, I didn't really play it. But yeah, so my kind of knowledge base is 6th and 7th edition primarily, and 5th edition, I guess. So Old World is like a cross between 5th edition and 6th edition, because the percentages was straight. That's exactly what it was back in 5th edition. You had a percentage of. It wasn't the same categories. So now I'm trying to remember. 5th edition, the categories were characters. Did that include champions? I've got a niggling feeling that characters, your champions came out of your character allowance, but I could be wrong about that. But I'm not. I don't think I am. I think champions came out of your character allowance. But yeah, I wouldn't bet on that because I can't quite remember, but I feel like that's the case. And I think maybe musicians and standard bearers were just double price for a unit. I don't know why I mixed up so much brown. I've literally got like the tiniest bit, distracted by talking as well. Yeah, so I think champions came out of your character allowance in 5th edition. And yeah, so you could have 50% of your army was characters, except for Bretonnians. They got 75% of their army they could spend on characters. Just a little fun fact for you. And then 25% on, at minimum, 25% on troops. And that was everything. That was like cavalry and infantry and all of the stuff. Minimum 25% on troops. Then it was like maximum 25% war machines, maximum 25% monsters. I think that was it. Characters, troops, monsters, war machines. I can't remember about allies. I don't think I ever used allies. I can't remember if they're built into the core rule set or not. I don't feel like they were, but that's not necessarily true. It might just be that I was only playing Dark Elves and didn't have anything to use as allies, and so never even considered it. There's a very good chance that's true. And I think I was 16 when 6th edition came out. There you go, I've just dated myself. Yeah, I played 5th edition for what? I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Maybe not even that. Maybe 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I think it was probably like maybe about 13. So yeah, so there we go. So all that to say, look at this, I've sprayed brown flecks all over my desk. I don't know if you can even see that. Maybe. Yeah, so Old World, what I was saying is Old World is a mix of the 5th edition way of selecting your army. Oh, and every army had one general. Like, it wasn't a 0 to 1, and it wasn't a 1+, it was just you had a general. And there was a special set of stats for your general. I'm sure that was the case. Yeah, Dark Elf general. I feel like that was a thing. So, yes, 5th edition was percentage of different categories, basically. And then 6th edition came along and completely redid that, got rid of the percentages and gave you a number of units that you had to have. So instead of being like minimum 25% core, it was minimum X amount of units. So if it was a 1,000 point army, or less than 2,000 points, it was 2 or 3. No, I think in 2,000 points it was 3 core units, so less than 2,000 points must have been 2. Now I'm struggling to remember, that's really sad. Yeah, so the 2,000 point one is the one I remember the best. 2,000 points was at least 3 core units, and then, I can't remember what the cap was on special. That was like 3 or 4, and rare was like 2 maybe, and then it was +1 to each of those for every 1,000 points. And characters was 1 lord level, and then, maximum 1 lord level at 2,000 points. If you didn't take a lord, and then maximum 4 heroes, but one of those would be your lord choice. So if you took a lord, you could only take 3 heroes, basically. I don't even know why I'm painting the brown on these goblins. I don't know if I really want brown as the base layer for the skin, but I've got brown here on my my palette and feel like I'd be wasting it. I completely wouldn't be wasting it because it's very watered down anyway. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. The Old World selection is a mix of 6th and 5th edition. There you go. Oh yeah, but the categories are different. That's right. So I knew I hadn't quite finished. So the categories now are the same categories from 6th edition, but the same kind of points. No, not quite the same. Similar points from 5th edition. There's not really much point in me saying what those are because you know them, but they're very similar. It does give you a bit more, so like, okay, 2,000 points with, in 6th edition, because you could only get 1 Lord character, you could basically only get 1 guy riding like a dragon or something. Now in Old World, because you don't have the numerical limitation like 1 Lord, but rather you've got a percentage limitation, you can take as many Lords as you can fit. Lords aren't technically a thing, but So you can, I think, you can get like 3 dragons in a high elf army at 2,000 points instead of 1. Although in 7th edition, they gave you the dragon mage as a rare unit, right? So you could take a dragon mage. Could you take 2 dragon mages in 2,000? No, you couldn't afford them. I can't remember. It didn't have a percentage cap, so maybe you could. I didn't play high elves anyway, so I'm going to stop talking about them. Dark elves for life. That's all I have to say about that. However, depending on how things go, I may make a dark elf army using the high elf rules if I want to take dark elves to a tournament before dark elves come out in Old World. That is an option. And then I might take a 3 dragon dark elf army. That could be fun. It could be fun. But I won't have any cold ones. That's a bit sad. But 3 dragons. I'm down with that. I don't know what else it would take, to be honest. I just quite like the idea of having 3 Dark Elf dragons and 2,000 points. That's as far as that plan goes. It's probably a rubbish plan. Okay, great. That is that layer down. I'm gonna... Do I paint green on the goblins, or am I likely to just get red all over it? Maybe I should paint red next. Yeah, probably should. Okay, let's do some red. Now, I don't want to make the same mistake that I've made on previous squigs, which is why I spend ages going up through the layers. I just need to get right down to a colour that I'm relatively happy with. Let's have my red. There. This is very watery brown actually, so it's not having much effect on my red, is what I'm thinking. Oh, the trouble is, I'm going to have to mix this a million times because they're so big. And I feel like I just pulled up a load of dried brown flakes, which is not ideal either. Alright, so this is my plan. Is it my plan? Yeah, it's my plan to paint this all over the red and then go from there. I feel like I might be using the wrong size brush for this. Well, see that feels so light. It feels so light. But I don't know, maybe it's fine. And it's going over dark brown. It's got to be fine. It's got to be fine. Yes, I am using way too big a brush for this. But I'm going to do it on the main areas and then come in with a smaller brush. That's my current plan. Until I like get it all over everything and then I'll be like, what am I doing? Change. I prefer not to get red on everything. This looks so bright. I can't believe it. If you've seen any of my other videos, I've gone up very carefully from very dark brown. But it takes me hours. And I just don't want to spend hours doing it. So the thinking here is if I start with a lighter colour red, then I don't have to come up through as many layers. That's my thinking. And it's obviously true, but will it look any good? I don't know. I don't know. Am I testing it out on too large a model? One that's going to be like a centerpiece of my army? Probably. Probably should have just done it the way that I've done all the others. Oh, it's so light. There we go. Never get anywhere by not trying stuff out. and then you can learn from my how this goes as to whether this was a good idea or not. And you can use it or not use it. But I mean, when I did the squig hoppers, I just took forever to do them, and I don't feel like most of the layers were worth it. I made the same mistake with the yellow. After I did it with the red, I then just went and did it with the yellow as well. It's just like, I am taking way too long to paint this, and I'm basically painting entirely over the base layer colours that I've done, and it was not worth my time to do it. At least that's what I was thinking at the time. They look great now, but was it the right move? I don't know. Is this the right move? I also don't know. I'm pretty certain that I'm using the wrong size brush for doing this, because I can see I'm getting everywhere. But never mind. I can come back and tidy it up. I don't really want to, but I can. I hope it'll look alright, because it is like a centerpiece of the army. It should look good. I want it to look good. I don't know if this is drying as dark as I'd hoped. Maybe it is. Maybe it's fine. It's probably fine. In other news, I might start playing some Blood Bowl again soon. That might be fun. Thinking of painting up, finishing painting my halflings, which have been in a half-painted state for, well, since I was working at Games Workshop, and I left in 2008. So they've been half-painted since 2008. I actually finished one of them last year, maybe, because I used him in a Dungeon Bowl tournament. And I say tournament, it was literally just me and a couple of mates, but we played a Dungeon Bowl tournament, and I made a life team, and I had a halfling in it. So I finished painting one of my halflings. I am going to run out in a minute of this red and have to mix some more. But yeah, all that to say, I might. I don't know, I was going to say I might do a video painting my halflings, but they're half painted. It'd be a bit of a lame video, seeing half painted stuff. They're also old metal ones. So maybe, I am planning on doing some live streams. So YouTube has, I've hit a threshold on YouTube where I can have members, and actually it doesn't matter whether it's members or adverts. Basically, once I can start making some enough through YouTube to support live streams, so whether that's members, if you want to be a member, and you want to support me doing live streams on the channel, that would be awesome. Alternatively, subscribing would really help, because when I hit 1,000 subscribers, then I can start making some ad revenue. So that'd be good, and who knows, that may go some way to support it. But basically, I'd really like to do live streams, because it would be great. There are so many reasons why I'd like to do live streams. I'd be able to get videos up a lot quicker doing them via live stream, because then they're just up straight away, rather than recording and then I'm recording them and then uploading them. But at the moment, I'm not doing live streams because my internet is so bad. The quality is like a really poor quality image that I'm uploading, just because it has to stream at such a low rate. So yeah, I'd really like to do live streams, but I need I'm looking to get YouTube to fund that, essentially. So whether that's ad revenue or memberships, either way, I'm happy. So yeah, if you want to become a member and get some of the perks, they are listed on the join section. Alternatively, subscribing will help me get the 1,000 subscribers so that I can start getting some ad revenue off of YouTube. So there you go. That's my plan anyway. I can't even remember why I said I wanted to do live streams. Yes, I can. Right, back onto why I want to do live streams. Because for just general hobby stuff, like painting my halflings, it's not worth doing a video, but it's a good opportunity to chat with people whilst I'm painting. And if people want to ask like how I do something, then that's a good forum for us to do that. So yeah, I'd like to do some live streams. Yeah, that's a much better place to do things like painting half-painted halflings on a like a hangout hobby time, rather than do a video dedicated to painting some half-finished models that I've had for ages. And there's other hobby stuff as well that I want to get done that aren't worth doing videos per se, but are a good thing to just kind of chat along whilst doing a live stream. Yeah, doing some live chats. There you go. So if you fancy that, help me out by subscribing or joining the membership. I also will be hosting a Discord server for members. That is actually set up, ready for when people want to become members. There's a whole bunch of other things. I can't remember what they all are. YouTube just gave me, it's like, oh, you can have members now. It's like, all right, what kind of things what do you offer members? And then it came up with a whole list of things. It's like, okay, cool, that's fine. I will do those things. So there you go. The ones that I can remember. Let me see what I can remember from the membership. There are things such as, so the very basic ones are, you know what? I'm going to get them up on my screen so I can see what it says. How do I push the right buttons so I can do this? And I say my screen. This is my screen in front of me, rather than the one that you can see. But you can just click on the thing. Right? What are they? Loyalty badges. This is an interesting concept, but there you go. It seems to be different colours of loyalty badge for how long you've been a member of the channel. So there you go. I have put the effort in of making different versions of badges though. So they are the old world gaming logo, the circle with the OWG in, but all different colours, like a beautiful rainbow. So yeah, so there you go. So shows you how long you've been a member. Emojis, I'm not really quite sure what they're for, but the emojis that I've done are all models that I've painted on the channel. So you've got Dwayne's eye as an emoji, the troll, and it's just all it is his big beady eye looking down. There's the peasant who's running away from the foot of Gork, one of my snotlings grinning, and my goblin shaman, who actually has a little bit of an Easter egg, is hiding in the background of the Old World Gaming logo. If you look close enough, he is there and has been there from the very beginning. Right, there's a little bit of water in this, I feel like. Or I'd already put water in. Now it might be too thin. Yeah, there's no way I wouldn't have not put water in it. Never mind. Okay, what else is there? Priority reply to comments. So if you're a member, so this is the base level. If you're a member, I will always reply to your comments. What else is there? Listed in the video credits. Okay, so here's the approach that I'm taking for this. In fact, you'll see this, so at the end of this video, I have made, so in previous videos when I've been doing my Night Goblin army and just kind of updating the progress of my army, I've had like a roster page that I've made for what's in the army. So I've decided my credits will be that kind of style, and everyone who's a member is essentially part of the WAR. So I've called the 4 different membership levels, core troops, special troops, rare troops and characters, depending on what perks you're interested in really. And so you'll be listed, anyone who becomes a member will get listed on the roster and as to whether they're part of the core troops, special troops, rare troops, or a character in the WAR, basically. I thought that was quite a nice little touch. I like it anyway. It's on theme and a bit flavoursome. So there we go. And then members only live chats. So on the live streams, there'll be a live chat there for members to use. So that's the basic level. Then what's the next level? Special troops. So special troops, special troops. Members get all the perks from the previous level, apparently, which makes sense. What does it say on this one? Early access to new videos. So you may have seen this video. So I tried it out on the Beastman video. What it does is it shows it as that it's been released, but you can only access it if you are a member until it goes public. So that's how all my videos I say all my videos, not all the videos. A lot of my videos will be going out to members only to start off with, before being released to everyone else. There will be some that doesn't apply to. So like when I get to doing live streams, most of my live streams will be just available to everyone to jump on. But I will be doing, on the next level up, the rare troops, I'll be doing members only hobby times that I was just talking about, like when I might paint my halflings or something like that. I can't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, new videos. Yes, so videos will go to members only first. So, but they will go to everyone else afterwards. So it's just kind of a first dibs for the members. And then member shout outs. So for whenever a member needs a shout out, when you become a member, get a shout out at the special troops level. To be honest, I'll probably do it at the core troops level as well, at least to start off with. I'm very excited about my first members, no matter what level they'll be at. So you'll definitely get a shout out to start off with. But then moving forwards, it'll only be, depends on how many people. I don't know if anyone really wants to become a member. But there we are. So, but anyway, these are suggested perks by YouTube. So member shout outs on the special troop level. So if you do something like, I don't know, have a chat with me in the comments about something, I may shout it out. I've certainly done that in the past. When people have told me about things or had to talk to me about something, I've given them a shout out in videos, so it'll be that kind of thing. Also photos and updates of stuff that I'm working on. So I have done that in the past via posts, and I probably still will do, but they'll be more geared towards members. And And also that's where the members only Discord server comes in. So from the second level upwards, those members will have access to the Discord server. So that's the special troops. All of this is listed on the when you click on the join button on YouTube. It'll be there. What's next? The next one is rare troops. Okay, so all of the things previously mentioned, plus members only hobby live streams. Yes, so the hobby live streams, kind of like the fireside chat. I'll do those for special troops. No, not special troops, rare troops. Okay, so if you're in the rare troops or characters level, then those will be that's the level for the hobby live streams. I mean, these might change in the good sense, so it won't make anything worse, depending on how things go, I guess. Then I've got Boon of Tsench is a benefit. Clearly that was not recommended to be called that by YouTube, but that's what I called it. The reason I called it that is because Tsench is like the changer of ways and stuff. So the idea behind that is there'll be polls when I'm making a decision on what to do with the channel, what direction to take it, what should I be doing next, like picking an army, that kind of stuff. That'll be for the rare troops and characters to get to decide things like that. So I often toy with, do I do my Tomb Kings next? Do I do my Bretonnians next? That kind of thing will be for any members who are part of the rare troops or the characters to kind of weigh in on that. And I'll put polls up and be like, what do you want me to do? Well, I'm deciding between these armies. Pick an army, and that's the one I'll do. So there you go. So have an actual decision in what happens on the channel. And you know, it's quite an impactful decision. I mean, I've been painting these or doing my Night Goblin army for, what was it, February I started? What are we now? May, halfway through May? February, March, April, May. 3.5 months. So it'll be 4 months by the time I've finished my first 1,000 points on my Night Goblins. And by the time I've done that, I'll be looking to pick a new faction to do, really. So will that be Tomb Kings? Will that be Bretonnians? Will it be Wood Elves, maybe? What else? Could be Chaos Warriors. Could be probably won't be my dwarves straight away. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, that's for those who are working on behalf of Tsench or Tsench to decide the fate of the channel. So there you go. So if you fancy being part of that group, then join the rare troops. Another benefit for the rare troops is called Honoured Among Men, or Goblins, or Dwarfs, etc. And basically, when you become a member and you join the rare troops, you can I'll let you choose which of one of my armies, and I'll give you some options of models in the army, and you can name one of the models in my army, my actual army. You will get to choose the name of, and then any game that it's in, I'll give you, well, anytime it's referenced in any video, I'll give you a shout out. Whether that's a battle report, most likely it'll be a battle report, I'm not gonna lie. I'll put your name next to, so you know I do like an army list. I'll put your name next to the army list and the name of the guy that you've named. So you have a shout out there when I do that. And also during the game, when the model does any kind of action, or when he dies or whatever, then I'll give you a shout out as well. So there you go, and you can follow the journey of that particular model. And who knows what those models will be. Obviously, the sooner you join, the more interested in the models will be in the army. But I mean, everyone needs a name, right? Like Dag's Stickers, his unit of 10 archers, they all need names. Everyone needs a name. So there's plenty of names to go around. But I think like people who join earlier will get to name like the cooler models, like the champions and banner bearers and stuff like that. But there'll still be rank or file troops who'll need naming later on. So yeah, so there you go. So that's all the rare troops. So all of the things, but in particular, that's deciding the channel, like what I do next on the channel, though even the kind of videos that I make, those kind of things. Members only hobby live streams, so kind of hang out with me and do hobby stuff, and then also essentially claim something in my army to name and own as your own, or at least to represent your contribution. And then the final one, the final level, at the moment only has one perk, but the perk, I don't know. This is here because I figured it might as well be, but I travel to Nottingham a couple of times a month, and I was like, you know what? If anybody really wants to, I'll happily meet up with them at Warhammer World on those times when I'm in Nottingham, and we can hang out. Whether that's literally just hanging out and chatting in Bugman's or something, or depending on the day, and if we got time for a game, maybe it's having a game. So there you go. So if you fancy hanging out in Warhammer World, then become a character in the War and join the conquest of the old world. So there we go. So that's the membership program and the different plans. Alternatively, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. But I imagine anyone who's watched this far into this video is probably subscribed. If you're not, why are you watching this video? I'm like, why would you not be subscribed? The fact that you're watching this video and have watched it this far through, what are we? We're an hour into this video. The fact that you've made it an hour into this video, I'd be very surprised if you're not subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, because I'm assuming you're enjoying the video, even if it is me just rambling about random stuff. But yeah, there we go. We've taken an hour and I've basically just painted these guys red. That's not true. Obviously I've done the cloaks and the goblins dry brushed. Clearly that took a really long time. And painted these guys brown and then red. Magical. It's a very magical thing. See, the other benefit of doing live streams is I don't have to think about random stuff to talk about. We can actually talk about things that you want to talk with me about. I should probably look through some comments. Maybe I should do that. I mean, I've got plenty of stuff I can natter on about. I haven't written anything down. I don't write anything down. Should I write stuff down? I feel like that'd be a bit weird. Maybe it'd be sensible to write stuff down, but I don't think that far ahead. I'm just like, I'm gonna do some painting now. The main thing is, I've been wanting to paint these guys for ages, needing to paint them for ages, and just not doing it for either. I've been too knackered and no, it's just gonna take a really long time. Or I've been distracted by other things, like a foot of cork. Randomly made a foot of cork. Or talking about other stuff that's in my head. Like, how much does it cost to buy a 2,000 point army? Those kind of things. Or, I wonder what it would look like to have a Beastman army. I genuinely can't even remember why I was thinking about my Beastmen the other day. But I was. I think it might have been triggered. So I was speaking with one of my friends, who likes Warhammer, obviously. Oh, I just painted my light again. He was talking about his armies and saying he really likes Beastmen. And I was like, you know what? I wonder how many points I've got of Beastmen painted. I didn't realise it was 1,000 points, basically. apart from 5 guys. So that was exciting. I feel like this red that I've just painted under here is so much brighter than it should be. Brighter than all the rest. Never mind. Right, now let's do a finer brush and do all the bits that I haven't done with the mega brush. But I think it was the right move to use that big brush. I have seen there's various videos online of how to make stuff look good using contrast paints, and some of the squigs look excellent, and it makes me wish that I'd like looked at those first and just done stuff with contrast paints. I don't know what I want to do with contrast paints, if anything, but I feel, I don't know, I probably will do my Khemri with contrast paints in some fashion anyway. I definitely tried using the classic method on them previously, with black undercoat, and that was probably a mistake, because painting skeletons bone colour from a black undercoat is far more effort than it's worth, I think. I gave them a dry brush of like Graveyard Earth and possibly Commando Khaki. And that's literally all I've done. And that's my skeleton archers. However, my Khemri army basically is just skeleton archers. Wow, no. It's got like 45, maybe 44 skeleton archers. I'm pretty sure I've got 2 units of 15 and 1 unit of 14 skeleton archers in my Khemri army, although I've built 45. I feel like my 2,000 points actually only had 44. The theory behind the 15-man unit, though, 15 men in an archer unit, was they stand in a long line to do their shots. This is 6th edition, bear in mind. So they couldn't like volley fire or fire in ranks. So they stand in a long line of 15, basically 3 units of 15 taking up the entire frontage of the board, basically. Because they're Khemri, you can use magic to make them shoot twice. So you do that. And then when the enemy gets close, so twice every turn, when the enemy gets close, you do your, I'm trying to remember which way around all the things were. Was magic before shooting or after shooting? I can't remember now. I feel like magic was before shooting, wasn't it? Either way, you I was thinking, here's what I was thinking, and I guess I mustn't have done this, but I was thinking I could do a shoot with them all and then use magic to reform them into their 3 ranks. But I feel like the magic phase was before the shooting phase, so I must not have done that. I must have just reformed and then shot with the front 5 guys. I can't remember. It was a really long time ago. But I did like, so the reason there were so many archers because Queen Khalida was the lord, and she gave them all poison attacks, poison shots, which was excellent. I really want to get in there and paint in there. It's very hard. Oh, I just got red on his leg, which is kind of what I feared would happen. Yes, these squigs have darkened down, so that's good. I do wonder if it's just a native part of this Mephiston red anyway, is that it dries darker. I vaguely recollect that happening on the squig hoppers. Which is cool, because I didn't want it to be too light. at this stage. And I think, see, if that's the case, that could be why it took so many layers, because I was making it darker than I needed to make it. So that's good. I'm pleased that I did the right move, even though when I first started it felt so bright. It felt like the brightest thing. Now it feels like the right colour. It'll be so good to have these guys done. I'm quite looking forward to trying them out. Because I feel like, I mean, I've got visions of them being awesome. I don't know, they could just be rubbish. I vaguely recollect watching a Mountain Miniatures game, and I feel like they didn't do very well with them. But that doesn't mean they were using them right. Do they cause terror? I feel like they should. Maybe they don't. They are like the same size as a giant though. Speaking of which, I got my giants through. Oh, I didn't. So, I normally do a video about this. For the Stormbringer issues, what number is this? What does it say? Let's see what number it is. Number 60 and 61. Here you go. Stormbringer 60 and 61. Give you a giant between them. So the two sprues. There you go. So I got a couple of those, which is a giant for 20 quid, which is very good. At least I think it's very good. So yeah, I'll make a giant for my my Night Goblin army. I kind of want to give him some sort of hood like the new big giants. I can't remember what they're called. The massive ones. I would get one of the massive ones for this army, because there is one that has a hood and looks very cool and looked like he'd be perfect in a Night Goblin army. Who knows, maybe one day I will get one of those and I'll use it as a bone grinder giant or something, because it does look cool. I feel like that's exactly what I should do. But I do not have the funds right now for that. I'm painting all over my goblin's foot. I don't like this. Okay. What else needs doing? I need to do a bit more around his toes. Is that this one done? I think that's the bottom one. All of his bits done. I need to mix a new batch up to finish the top one. There's not much, I don't think there's much to do on the top one, but should get it done. It was my son's birthday a few weeks ago. And I gave him a Battle for Skull Pass for his birthday, one that I've had since I was a staff member. He greatly approved of that, because he was he's been very jealous of my Night Goblins, because he particularly likes fanatics. So yes, he got and he's really wanted to have dwarves. He didn't know the Skull Pass box set was a thing. I don't know if he really realises that it's older than him either. Or how much they go for anyway. But yeah, so so he really wanted some night goblins and dwarves, and I was like, I've been waiting for this day since before you were born. Here's a Skull Pass box set. I genuinely have. I mentioned earlier I gave him a 5th edition box set, not 5th edition, 6th edition box set for I can't remember. It was a Christmas or a birthday a year or two ago. I have had these sitting in the attic. I also have a 8th edition box set sealed in the attic as well. Just waiting. It depends on if he ends up interested in High Elves and Skaven, because they're two armies that I don't really have either. Now I'd be quite up for a High Elf army, and maybe a Skaven army. So I may use it, or I may give it to him. He doesn't know I've got it. He's not going to watch this video either, so he may end up getting it for a birthday or Christmas one year as well, depending. But he's got plenty to work with at the moment. So yeah, now he's got a Skull Pass box set. His grandparents got him a set of Fanatics, the plastic ones. So he's now got 12 Fanatics, which is perfect, because you get, not 12 Fanatics, 6 Fanatics, because you get 2 units of Spearmen in the Skull Pass box set. So that's good, he's very pleased about that. I also ordered, when I got my Boy and Grot Bounders, I ordered enough, so there was another unit of 10. So I gave him a unit of 10 Boy and Grot Bounders, which means he's got unit Squig hoppers. And then I feel like there was something else. Dwarves, yes. I gave him a couple of box sets of the old world plastic dwarves. A 5th edition set, no, a 6th edition set and a 7th edition set. Again, just because I had them. I bought loads of dwarves. Well, I when I was a kid, I say kid, when I was a teenager, clearly I had way too much disposable income, because I bought so many boxes of plastic regiments. Like, I bought loads of boxes of Wolf Riders, loads of boxes of Night Goblins, boxes of dwarves. I think that's the thing about being a teenager and having like limited responsibilities, living at home. You just have shed loads of disposable income. What a wonderful time. And clearly I didn't need them. I've just got so much stuff, like all my beastmen, which I've like basically never used. I just bought so much stuff, it's crazy. There you go. Clearly I was not the best user of funds. I've still got I've got loads of unbuilt goblins, unbuilt dark elves, just so much stuff, it's crazy. That I bought as a kid. I got loads of stuff that I bought when I was a staff member because it was dirt cheap. But yeah, I guess when you're a kid it doesn't matter if you haven't got any responsibilities. There you go. I'm not suggesting that that's what you should do if you're a teenager. I can't imagine there's many, if any, teenagers watching this video. But if you are a teenager, you should definitely be more responsible with your money. I'm not suggesting you emulate my my approach to using my money when I was a teenager. My suggestion would be to save. Like, I basically didn't save any. You should definitely save money. I feel like we're more or less there. I keep trying to want to get under this guy, but the more I try and paint under him, the more I'm just going to paint all over him. Is that everything? We are basically there, I think. We're done around his mouth. I don't know what's lip and what is gums at this point. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we are good. Right, okay. That was the hardest bit of this model, I think. The rest is going to be relatively plain sailing. My back hurts now. Okay, cool. Great. Now let's do the slightly more fun bit. Let's do the next layer. Right, so I want a mid-tone between these two is what I'm going to aim for. I didn't actually put all that much Rhinox hide into it. Do I need a mid-tone? Maybe I don't. Maybe this is the fine. Maybe I'm going to use this. Is this wise? I don't know. I feel like this is what I want to do. How does that look? Oh, that looks really bright. How brave am I feeling? I don't know. Am I feeling that brave? Do I really just want to paint this red directly over it? I think I might, but not because I think it's a good idea, but because I think it's a quick idea. If it dries darker, then it'll be fine. If it doesn't dry darker than it looks, then, well, who knows? Right, I'm doing it. I am doing it. How am I doing it? Oh, there's so much going on here. I don't know how much to leave. Oh, I feel like am I doing this wrong? I kind of don't. Can you see? The hesitation that's going on here? What do I want to do? I want to leave the deep recesses and then paint everywhere else. Kind of. That's what I want to do. All right, I'm doing it. Oh, look at that! It's so bright. I hope it dries dark. I don't like paints that change colour when they dry. This is, I think, the first Games Workshop paint that I am aware of that does that. Assuming it does do that, but I feel like it just has done that with this previous layer. So, stop getting on my brush. Flaky bits. Yeah, I do think this paint is drying a different colour. And that is suboptimal in my mind, because I like to know what colour I've just painted. What colour I am in the progress of painting. I have bits everywhere. Did I get that off? Little specks. Right. Yeah, when it's so bright like this, it freaks me out. It's not. So, if it stays this colour, I'll be sad. I'm hoping it dries dark. Like I say, the very fact that I'm having to question that does upset me a bit. Quite a lot, actually. I don't like the terror's probably too strong a word. It's kind of like, it frightens me. I have fear. They at least cause fear. There we go. No, it's the Mephiston red that's causing the fear, not the Squigs, per se. Man, yeah, that's so... The contrast there is way too stark. It's certainly not the contrast that I want it to have by the time it's dry. So I'm desperately hoping, because it looks very cartoony. And that's the legit style. It's not the style that I'm after particularly, and doesn't match anything else. Am I doing this in too few layers? Maybe. I'm getting impatient, that's what it is. I'm just very conscious that it takes me a really long time to get anything painted, normally. Like, I think, let me have a quick look. How long did it take me to paint those Boingrot bounders? It took a really long time. Playlists. Squigs. Let's have a look. Okay, how many videos was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 videos painting the squig hoppers. And, here we go. 3, 4, 5. Cool. That one's 6 hours on its own. 11, 12, 13, 14 hours to paint the squig hoppers. 14 hours. This is not drying as dark as I hoped it would. How am I going to get over it? Maybe I'll get over it. It is drying darker, so that's a blessing. But it is not drying as dark as I would like. Do I power through and get over it? Or do I paint over what I've just done and stop while I can? Because I can. That is definitely a thing that I can do right now. I think it's going to be too bright, even after it's dried. It is very bright. It's the stark contrast between the two layers. I should have done a mid-tone, and then probably shouldn't have highlighted up to this colour anyway. Probably should have used like a bone colour. Right, let me think. Yeah, I think I am going to paint over it. How am I going to do that? I am going to... Yeah, I think I'm just going to repaint over with that colour. Do it again. Alright, that's my plan. I don't even know what colour that was. A bit like that, maybe. Trouble is, I might need to go a bit darker, because I wasn't painting over a light colour, I was painting over a dark colour. So it should probably be darker than I need. Right, let's just quickly get rid of this. So the colour this is turning out is probably the colour that I wanted it to be. Because it's got this light base underneath. Which, I mean, I can embrace. It's kind of like I painted this layer already. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have no idea what I'm doing. So if you're watching this because you're after someone who knows exactly what they're doing, you're in the wrong place. If you just want to go on this journey with me and learn with me, then you're in the right place. So long as it looks good by the time we're done, I'll be happy. Alright, great. Now, the colour that's turned out now is kind of the colour that I wanted for this layer. Probably, or at least should have wanted for this layer. However, that anywhere else on this squig probably isn't going to be the right colour, because that was over a light layer. So I probably need that. That's probably the colour that I was after. Maybe. I'm just worried that it's going to be too dark and I'm just going to end up doing a million layers again, like I want to do. It happens far too often. I just carry on doing a million layers. I feel like I need to be a bit bolder, just not as bold. I don't even know what colour this is normally. Okay, so there is a difference between this pure colour and what I've got mixed. Which is fine, that's all I'm after at this stage, I think. It's just as long as it's not the garish red, I'll be happy. Alright, take two. So, now that I'm feeling a little bit happy about this, I just want to not paint in the recesses, mainly the deep recesses. I've actually made this quite light again, but it's not like garish, so I'm happier. I feel loads happier now, actually. That's good. I was not in a happy place with that other bright red. No, I'm in a happy place. That was looking much better. Very good. Okay. The difference it makes is wonderful. We definitely made the right move. I'm so happy about that. There is an argument to be made that this is still too bright. I mean, if I wanted to be here for hours, then I would definitely do more layers, but I just don't want to be here for hours anymore. I've spent far too long painting squigs. Like, I painted Wallopa, 24 hours to paint him, I think. I did do him in one go, so that was good. disappointingly, so he was one of my live streams that I did, and it was only when taking a screenshot for the thumbnail that I realised that those 4 hours had not been recorded in high definition because I was streaming and the internet could not handle it. That made me very sad, particularly because I did a very nice job that I was very pleased with on his sword, on his one-hit wonder, and then that didn't come out in the video. Oh, that was my back. That's not a fun noise for my back to be making. That's something else I'd like to get. It's a nice chair. Okay. Oops, just put my finger right in the wet paint. I had to resist starting to do my beastmen because I was like, I just can't be putting off painting these any longer. They need to get done. I want them to be done. I want to play with them. I want to have them painted, and they won't paint themselves. But I also want to paint my beastmen. The good thing about the beastmen is there's literally only 5 of them to paint, and then that's 1,000 points of beastmen ready to rock. Play some games with. So at least it'll be a short project to get them up and running. So that'll be good. And then I have 1,000 points that I can use in battle reports. I realised that when I was talking through, working out all the different armies that I have got that I can be using in battle reports, I missed off my Nurgle Demon army. So at some point I'll write a list for them. But I guess I've got no real need to just now. However, I do want to get these beastmen done, so that way I can play a game with my friend. You can come over and use my beastmen. And that also gives me a different opponent to play, because in all of the games, all the battle reports that I've done, well, that's not true actually. The proper battle reports that I've done have all been me and my son playing, which is awesome. But I bet it mentions that it might be nice to play against some other opponents, do some battle reports against other people, which is fair. So I have done like not really battle reports, so the mini battle report. When I was teaching one of my friends how to play, he used the dwarves and I used my night goblins. So that was someone else, but it wasn't a proper battle report. So I was literally just teaching him. The only Warhammer he'd ever seen before was Total War. And it wasn't really fair to do a proper battle report. The reason he was over was to learn how to play, not to do a battle report. However, my friend who will be using Beastmen has played 6th edition before. We've played 6th edition before. And he's got a whole bunch of his own stuff. So he's not like brand new to the game. But he doesn't know how to play Old World yet because he hasn't played. So the plan is to have a game basically, and so you can learn the rules really. 1,000 points seems a good enough size game, I think. He can use my Beastmen and I'll use something else. Maybe I'll use Dwarves, that might be fun. That probably would be quite fun actually. Like a dwarf lord going toe to toe with a Beastman lord. The Beastman lord will destroy my dwarf, probably. I don't know, probably. Because it's a Minotaur, right? I don't know if they will go toe to toe. I guess the benefit of the dwarves is the dwarf will have probably a unit of iron breakers. It's my army. I love iron breakers. That is what I normally have my general in, is a unit of iron breakers. They are my favourite. I do want to work out, I feel like I may even have 1,000 points of Wood Elves painted, you know. I do want to work out on my Wood Elf army though, in the not too distant future. What have I got? I've got a unit of Glade Guard, probably somewhere between 12 and 14 Glade Guard in unit, I feel like 14. I've got a unit of 6 Scouts, I think. I think it's 6. Sounds about right. What else have I got? Dryads. I think I've got 12 Dryads. And a Branch Wraith. I've got a Lord. With a great weapon. And a bow, obviously. I've got 3 or 4 tree again painted. So that's what I've got painted at the moment for Wood Elves. That's going to be somewhere between 500 and 1,000 points. I do have a half painted unit of Eternal Guard. Eternal Guard, I feel like really lost out in this edition. I actually don't remember all their stats, but I did have a brief look when I was doing the lore video for them. And I'm sure they came off rather bad compared to most other units. Because they used to be a really good core unit. I feel like they used to have 2 attacks with their like special spears, and is it you could use them to get an extra attack or to get an armor save maybe? I can't remember. But anyway, my Eternal Guard are technically just classic spearmen. So aren't really Eternal Guard anyway, they are just spearmen. But I think they all got called Eternal Guard. They've just got spears and shields, basically. It'd be good to get them finished. They are mostly done. What do I mean by mostly done? I think I've painted their cloaks. And I've painted their spears and shields, maybe? I felt like that's what's painted on them. So I haven't done their skin. I don't know, they're probably about half done. But yeah, so it could be that that's why I need to finish off the first 1,000 points. Now I used to use, in 6th edition, I had an awesome Wood Elf army that I used to use in 6th edition. I loved it. It wasn't painted, don't get me wrong. It was just an unpainted army that I used to use all the time. But yeah, it was back in the day when all Wood Elf players basically just used to take archers, and it was just like a shooty army of death. That was the Wood Elf army in the meta. And I was like, I'm going to do something completely different. So I made a War Dancer army. I had 2 units of Eternal Guard as my core troops. I must add something else as well. Might have been Warhawks. No, they can't have been core troops. Might have been Dryads, actually. Maybe. Yeah, I think it must have been Dryads, my 3rd core unit. And then 3 units of War Dancers. And a War Dancer Lord and a couple of Spell Singers. I think that's what it was. And my Spell Singers just used to move the trees around the board. That was awesome. I loved moving the woods around. Because you could, I feel like you could move the woods with your Wood Elf troops in them. Maybe. I feel like that might have been a thing. And my Lord had Moonstone of the Hidden Ways and used to teleport her unit to the other side of the battlefield. And it was beautiful. And so she would just like be in a unit of War Dancers. They'd teleport to the other side of the battlefield and then just go through mincing units. And in 6th edition, you used to disrupt your enemy's units. They didn't get rank bonus. Just as long as you were unit strength 5 in the side. So skirmishers and my War Dancers used to be able to disrupt units, which was perfect because that was what they missed out on. They didn't have ranks. Or standards, so they were, yeah, they definitely were going to lose combats because of that. However, the disrupting them and getting rid of rank bonus was beautiful. So I used to do that, and I used to just go through with 3 War Dancer units, destroying stuff. That was basically the army. I loved it. I did have a unit of Warhawks, but they obviously didn't. They were the rare unit, I think. So yeah, basically the idea was to have an army with no bows, except the Warhawk Riders came with bows, and possibly no, the War Dancer character didn't. Did the Wizards? Wizards might have come with bows. But yeah, the intention was to have a combat army of Wood Elves, just because no one was doing it, and it was fun. But I do like Wood Elf Archers. Wood Elf Archers in 6th edition were excellent. Yeah, I was sad when 7th edition came out. I stopped using my Wood Elves because they got rid of the skirmishers couldn't negate ranks in 7th edition. That made me sad. Only because I liked my Wood Elf army. And yeah, so I stopped using them in 7th edition. Never mind. I'm sure I'll find an excuse to use them in Old World, but it will be a different sort of army. Because he still can't disrupt. But I might not need to disrupt. I probably could use basically the same army. However, the trees don't move anymore, which is sad. There is no Moonstone of Hidden Ways anymore. Or you certainly can't teleport your unit anymore, which is also sad. So it will be a very different army. I won't play like that one at all. But there we go. I'll go over it, probably. Probably. But yeah, Wood Elf Archers were excellent in the 6th edition book. They got like +1 strength at close range, which was very cool. They could move and shoot with no penalties. Yeah, move and shoot with no penalties and +1 strength at close range. Just excellent. Yeah, I don't think they've got anything like that these days. But they do get, actually, you can give them the magic arrows. So that's cool. But it just, I feel like you're paying for abilities they used to have, maybe. I can't remember quite what they do. Doesn't one of them give them like 2 shots? Is that right? Because if so, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I need to do a Wood Elf deep dive. Quite enjoy those. Although the Beastman deep dive hasn't been particularly popular. Not like the Chaos one was. Or the Bretonnian one, actually. I don't know if it's because Beastmen aren't as popular or just because of well, there could be a few things. Could be the length of the video. I think it was quite long, the Beastmen one. Like maybe twice as long as the Chaos one. Let's have a look. Videos. So the Beastmen one is almost 3 hours, 2 hours 50. I think the Chaos one is 1 hour 10. So yeah, it's almost 3 times as long. That certainly, I imagine, puts people off. So there we go. I can't really blame them for that. I just keep pulling my knuckles through the paint. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I quite like the deep dive because it is a proper deep dive through the rules. But was it too deep? Did I delve too deep like the dwarves? I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I was going to say it doesn't matter how many people watch it. But maybe it does. If people don't like it. But there's been 300 people who have liked it. So there we go. How many? 800 people on the... I say liked it, not liked, watched it. And may not have watched it for very long, in fairness. Who knows? I liked it, that was the main thing. Is that the main thing? I genuinely don't know. So the main way I choose what videos to do for the channel is just what do I like? What do I want to do? And I feel like if I like it, if I want to do it, there's bound to be other people who like it and want to see it and go on that journey as well. So that's basically why I do it. I guess that's where the Boon of Cinch polls for members will help. That'll help me know what people actually like. The things that get the most views are like when new stuff's released. People like listening to me talk about new stuff, I guess, which is fair. I like seeing new stuff come out and scheming about it too. But they are the most popular. Where's my most popular videos? Popular videos. Oh, I just painted away my light again. My light is getting... Let me just show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, how well you'll be able to see it. But I definitely can't even see. So can you see I paint my light frequently? Oh, yeah, okay. But I just added some more red to my light by accident. So yes, the most popular video on the channel that's not a short was the when the night goblins were released, because I was not expecting those. And I said as much in the title. So yeah, they were a bit of a surprise. Genuinely didn't expect those. But I guess it kind of makes sense if they're... Because anything that's currently out in Age of Sigmar, they're just leaving in Age of Sigmar. So the old world night goblins had been rebranded as what, Gloomspite Gits or something like that? No, not Gloomspite Gits. I can't remember what they're called, but the night goblins basically for Age of Sigmar. So to release old world ones, that they were the only plastic option, right? Was the classic 6th edition ones. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like them. I did have an army of them. Not painted, naturally. They were sprayed black, but it was like a 2,000 point army of, and it was basically just night goblins and fanatics. Didn't have anything else in. No, it was night goblins, fanatics, and shamans. 2,000 points. Level 4 shaman, 3 level 2 shamans, and then as many fanatics as I could fit in 2,000 points. No, it probably wasn't as many as I could fit. It was 12 fanatics. And then, what, 4 units of spearmen? Something like that. I can't remember. But then when 7th edition came out, I promptly sold them and migrated over to the Skullpass ones because they are just excellent. I love the Skullpass night goblins. They're just amazing. And then the ones that are the current AoS night goblins, which are just a multi-pose version of the Skullpass ones, basically. So yes, that's what I thought they were going to do for night goblins, was just release them as old world ones. But like I say, I guess they didn't need to, because they are still available as for Age of Sigmar. So if you want them, just buy those. They've been out for ages though. What's that, 14 years? Is that right? No, it came out in 2007. Wait, if they came out in 2007, I was 21. No, it's not 21 years. I can count, honest. When did they come out? Was it 2006 actually they came out? So 10 years would be 2016. Another 10 years would be 2026. So they're like 18 years old. That's still pretty old. Same age as my daughter. I hadn't realised that Skull Pass came out, I guess, the same year my daughter was born. I'd not clocked that till just then. That's quite amusing. I've only just given it to my son. A box that's older than my daughter. My son just turned 15, so it's definitely older than him. But yeah, I didn't realise it was that old. Oh, I'm gonna have to mix up some more paint. It's the worst part. Trying to colour match paints. Oh, I've already only done one Squig. Lame. It just takes so long. Oh, I did say it would take longer than I expected. It's almost been 2 hours. I haven't even painted a whole Squig yet. It's way too much brown. Alright. Oh no, I've just realised it's 10 o'clock. I've been up for a very long time. I was up earlier than normal today, so I might have to just finish this layer on both Squigs and then call it a day. Still, they're getting there. They could do with a, maybe I should do a highlight as well. We'll see, depends how tired I am. I can always carry on the video. Stitch the two together with magical stitching skills, which takes 0 skill whatsoever. It's literally just placing them next to each other, pretending that nothing happened. I'm sure you've probably noticed that the production quality of my videos is very basic. I'm not doing YouTube because I'm a media whiz, that's for sure. I'm just pleased I found out how to add music to videos to break up these long silences when I'm busy concentrating on painting. Right, oh good, one Squig has got his red done. He does need a highlight layer. At least one highlight layer, maybe 2. But that'll probably have to wait till tomorrow. I'm almost tempted to leave painting that Squig till tomorrow because I'm really tired. How long will it take me? I don't know. Take me probably like half an hour. Alright, let's do it. I'd literally just mixed the paint up. It's not really enough paint to do him, but we shall do it. Instantly daunted. I'm going to need to paint over all these spikes again. I think I'll do them white. I say white loosely. Bone colour. Did I make this red too light? I don't know, maybe it's fine. This red is looking quite light on him, but it's probably okay. It's okay enough, I think. Yeah, it'll be fine. Once I've got some highlighting on it, it'll look alright. It's a little bit lighter, I think, than I would like. I do have some more brown here though, so I can make it a bit darker. Take the edge off it. There we go. Edge taken. So I was thinking the other day, I could make some razor gauze out of expanding foam like I did with these. So this guy here is made out of expanding foam. And I'm using it as a razor gore chariot in my Beastman army. So I could, if I wanted to, make some razor gauze out of expanding foam. From a Beastman. I don't know what made me think of that. It was something like some of the markings on this just made me think of Nurgle. Oh, these feel like they're going to be a little bit of a pain to paint around, because I should be doing like, it should be lighter on the tops around those. I really don't like that. How hard that's going to be. How much effort I'm going to have to put into that. Far too much effort. This is where the old contrast technique is particularly good, because it does all the effort for you. No, I'm sad that I haven't done contrast paints on these. But I'd committed to a style, really, by doing my squig hoppers the way that I did them. Doing these in contrast would just look really weird and wouldn't go together. So I've committed, so I'll have to do it. I've done that one. So once I've done this, it'll be done and dusted, and then I can, I've got one more. I've got this guy to do, but at least it's one squig that's loads smaller than these guys anyway. And then that's all the squigs done. It's not true, I've got these as well. At some point I'll paint these guys. But for the first 1,000 points, that'll be all of the squigs done once I've got these done. And the boss. Yeah, I think for like the next 500 points for my goblin army, I'll do a giant and some war machines. That feels like a good plan. Yeah, I wanted to do some pump wagons, didn't I? Do some pump wagons. I've just remembered that there is a Starship rocket launch coming up shortly. This will be the fourth launch of Starship. It'd be interesting to see if they can land any of it. And by land, what I mean is crash land into the sea, but not crash per se, crash land. There's a difference, because it will be like a landing maneuver that ends up in the sea, rather than a, oh no, it's out of control, boom, it's crashed into the sea. And it's pretty incredible. If you haven't followed any of what SpaceX is doing, it's well worth watching videos of their rockets. I remember, I think it was Wintergarten that got me onto SpaceX. I remember watching the Marble Machine videos and Martin talking about SpaceX and showing the rocket landings. I think that's how I first discovered them. That was back like in 2018, 17, 18, something like that. And yeah, it's been fun to watch Starship progress. I'm going to talk about SpaceX rockets for a little bit. So if you haven't seen them, look them up on the YouTubes. There's lots of YouTube videos about the SpaceX rockets, but they are crazy in that they can land a rocket. Like, historically, rockets just blow up. I say blow up. They discard bits of the rocket as they use them, and then just let them like burn up on re-entry, or most of the time land in the ocean and let them sink, and that's it. And that's like how NASA and everyone has done rocketry for decades. And then SpaceX comes along and Musk is like, you know what, I think we could probably land rockets. And so he does. So he lands them, even though everybody said it's crazy, you'll never land a rocket. He was like, wow, it's technically possible, so we'll give it a go. And now they land them. Then, like, SpaceX, because they don't have to build a new rocket every time they want to launch them, like everybody else literally has to build a brand new rocket every time they want to launch a rocket. They've been recovering them, like landing them since like 2015, but then routinely not just landing them but reusing them for a number of years now, because they can just carry on reusing them. They can do they will do 100 rocket launches this year with, I don't know, instead of like having to build 100 rockets, they only have to build like not even 10. I think they can do like 20 launches a rocket. I wonder what the record is. Okay, so I quite like the advancements in AI. I use a kind of search engine called Perplexity, which basically does like Google searches and then a kind of chat GPT thing on them, and then says, look, here's what I found after searching the internet. I've done this very dark, this layer. So what was I going to search for? Which SpaceX rocket holds the record for most reuses? Let's see how many. That doesn't. 19 launches, there you go. One of them has done 19, been used 19 times. Imagine that. So like other companies, there's no other companies doing this. Other companies to be able to do the same thing would have had to build 19 rockets. SpaceX built one. Just reused it 19 times. Now that's not strictly true, because only the booster, basically a rocket, is made up of, normally the ones that SpaceX use anyway, are made up of 2 parts. The booster, which is the first stage of the rocket, is the bit that, well, explaining rocketry, and I'm not pretending I'm an expert by any means, but when you send a rocket up, or certainly when SpaceX use these rockets, they've got 2 parts to them. The first part is the big flamey bit that doesn't burn for a very long time, but has to do all the hard work of getting out of the atmosphere and up to speed. It's not just out of the atmosphere, but it's also up to, like, not orbital velocity, but pretty fast. And then it detaches and comes back down to Earth and lands, and then the top bit carries on its journey. And the top bit they can't reuse. So they do have to make a new second stage for every rocket that they're putting up. But the second stage is like half the size, less than half the size of the first stage. So they're having to make like a third of a rocket each time instead of a whole rocket. So they are saving shed loads, but not saving an entire thing. So that's what the Starship program is for, is to reuse the entire thing. So the entire thing is able to come back. So that's again made of 2 stages. A ridiculously sized booster for the bottom stage, and then an actual, just a fully functioning spaceship for the second stage at the top. Fully functioning to the degree that when it's in space, it's a fully usable spaceship. When it's and when it needs to land, it can land back on Earth. So there you go, or on the moon, or on Mars, or wherever. But fully functioning. Whereas currently the second stages are made of a bunch of bits that come apart. So it's got fairings on the outside that protect the payload, which is like a satellite or something. Most of the rocket launches, in fairness, are Starlink satellites that they're putting up. Obviously, they do loads of commercial flights as well for other people who want to launch stuff. That's how they make their money. But yeah, so with the Starship, there's no bits they have to get rid of. That's the intention anyway. So yes, they've done loads of funky tests with Starships, and they're now on. So they've done a whole bunch of different types of tests, and the types of tests that they're doing at the moment are orbital launches. So attempting to get Starship into orbit, and to be honest, they expect them to blow up often because they are test vehicles, and they're just trying out. Like the first one, the success, the measure of success for the rocket was if they could launch it without blowing up the launch tower, then that was a success, which they did manage to do. And then anything more than that was like bonus, and they managed to get some. They did manage to do it without blowing up the launch tower, and then made some good progress. Both stages blew up, but still, they didn't blow up the launch tower.
and they managed to successfully launch the biggest rocket ever built. So there you go. That's pretty good. So it got launched, didn't blow the launch tower. And yeah, basically each launch has just got better and better. They did early on. They tried just the spaceship part, the starship, without the booster, to try out. They do like a belly flop maneuver with it. It's pretty crazy. So it works a bit like a skydiver. So rather than, well, the Falcon 9, which is the rocket that they use currently as their primary rocket, kind of goes up and comes back down, comes down in the reverse of the way it came up, just like landing, standing up straight, basically. But the Starship rocket, to save on fuel, so you don't have, because basically the way that the Falcon 9 rocket comes down is it lights up the engines and uses the rocket engines to slow its descent, basically, as it lands. And it just like uses fiery rocket engines to land. But obviously that takes fuel, which means you have to take extra fuel up with you to do the land, which means it's heavier to go up in the first place. It takes more fuel to go up as well. But with the Starship, the idea, which they tried and proved and it worked, was instead of using flamey rocket engine thrust to break the fall and land back using a rocket engine, was instead to put some like wings on it and skydive with it and use the atmosphere to break its fall, just like skydiving, basically. And it worked. And then right at the end, it does a little flip and then does a little burn just to land back on the pad. But yeah, it's crazy. It looks very cool. They definitely blew a bunch up trying it, which was fun to watch. And they're all on YouTube, and you can go watch them. Well worth watching just all of the SpaceX rocket progress, from them trying to land their very first rockets that just failed a million times, not a million times, but a whole bunch of times, to them succeeding. And then the Falcon Heavy, which was just the craziest thing. Like the first Falcon Heavy launch was just quality. So Falcon Heavy is where they kind of just strap 3 of their Falcon 9 rockets together. And so you got 3 rockets strapped together instead of just the one. It was cool for so many reasons. The one, it was massive. I think it's the biggest rocket currently in use, is the Falcon Heavy. Like I say, it's 3 Falcon 9s strapped together. But so it was a big rocket. The payload, because it was just a test, the payload was Elon Musk's, one of his Teslas with a spaceman in it. You've probably seen that. With a spacesuit, SpaceX spacesuit, a mannequin wearing a spacesuit, basically, which is now orbiting the sun. Because the launch was successful, and there is a car orbiting the sun. So that's pretty cool. And there is a website that someone made that is tracking it, and you can see where it is. So yes, that's pretty cool. So it's worth watching for that. But the coolest part, whether it's the coolest part or not, is debatable, but I thought it was epic, was when the 2 outside boosters peeled off the rocket and the center one just carried on. Those 2 came back to land, synchronized landing, and it was just crazy watching that live. synchronized landing was just the coolest thing. It looked like the future. It was amazing. I loved it. So yeah, do check that out on the YouTubes. Even if you're not into rockets, it's well worth watching. The ones, here's what I would watch. I would watch the SpaceX compilation of, there's probably a couple of compilations. One is just them trying to land their very first rockets, so the Falcon 9s. And yeah, they just, well, it's interesting just to watch them trying to land and blowing up loads until they finally successfully land one. Watching the Falcon Heavy flight, the first Falcon Heavy flight, launching the Tesla and with the side boosters coming down, that was epic, well worth a watch. Watching the compilation, because I bet there's a compilation of the progress for Starship, which will involve lots of blowing up. I mean, the first one didn't blow up, the Star Hopper. So yeah, watching that's well worth a watch. And then whatever the latest Starship launch, where they managed to get a Starship into orbit, which was very cool. And the coolest thing about all of these is they've got not webcams, but essentially webcams on the rockets, so you can just watch everything from the rocket's point of view, like all of these launches. It's very cool. And the on the Falcon Heavy launch, when they launched the Tesla, there's cameras on the Tesla, and you can watch the Tesla floating in space from the Tesla. Again, super cool. So yeah, well worth binging some SpaceX rocket launches, in my opinion. I feel like this one has been a little bit more futile than the other one, because I have not, like, this one is a much brighter colour than what I've done on this one. Almost like it wasn't worth my time. Not quite, but almost. There we go. It dries darker, as has been previously discussed. And that does annoy me a bit, because it feels like I'm wasting my time. It looks like I'm making progress, and then it dries and I haven't made much progress. That is demoralizing. See, look, it looks quite bright when I'm putting it on there, but then it just dries and feels like I haven't done much. There we go. I've started, so I'll finish. It could be worse. It could be the other way around, where it's just mega bright, like it was for the first layers. What's time now? This has taken half an hour so far to paint this guy. I've just got this back part of him to do on this side and this bit here, so we're getting there. My plan is to pick this guy back up. So once I've finished this layer, I'm going to bed, and then I will carry on next time and just stitch these two together and publish it as a video like that, just doing the red. And hey, I painted the red on the Mangler Squigs. It'd be interesting to see how popular these Mangler Squigs videos are, because I don't know, they're not the most exciting videos. Painting red, painting lots of red, lots of the same red without much variation. But I kind of am of the understanding that it's not necessarily how to paint these guys. That's why people are watching the videos. I suspect it's to have something on in the background whilst doing hobby. So, yeah, there we go. And I'm glad I can assist. At some point, these will be live streams, and then we can just chat, and that'll be better. But for now, it is a video. Gonna have to mix some more paint. Right, that's one last batch, hopefully, and you'll be done. I hope so. Right. I do like that. It's a very satisfying sound. Okay, let's do it. I think in our next battle report, my son will probably use his steam tank. Oh, and if I've got these guys painted, I can try these guys out. Unless I use a different army. I could use something else maybe. But I quite fancy trying these. But if we're using... How many points do you need for a steam tank? Let's think about this. Steam tank's like 265 points maybe? I know it's too many points to fit in a 1,000 point army, but I think it was like 265 points. So I could... so I've worked out 1,000 points that I'll have painted by the time this is painted and this is painted. However, I do have loads of extra night goblins painted that just I wasn't including in the army. By loads, I mean like 100. 100 extra night goblin spearmen, plus a few, like 6 more fanatics and grin crack. What I'd like to do at some point is paint a few more command groups to go with my 100 night goblins. Because I do basically just have 100 night goblins with no command groups. Just 100 night goblins, spearmen. So yeah, so I can probably make 1,500 points, maybe even 2,000 if I tried. But I don't need to. We could probably pay 1250. It's probably the right amount to pay. I think we have used a steam tank once in a 6th edition game, but it was 6th edition was not a good era to be using a steam tank. The rules are very convoluted. I think, is it like just a chariot now? Maybe, I can't remember. But I feel like it's a lot more straightforward than it was in 6th edition. I'll be so happy once these are done. I've been sitting here for ages just waiting. Yeah, it's gonna be so cool. I'm pleased with how much they're done now. Like the next video is gonna be I say this every time. The next video is going to be loads shorter because there's hardly anything left to do. That's not true. I mean, it kind of is true. It's got to be true, right? It's just the metal, the leather straps, the teeth, the eyes, the goblins, the snotling, the mouths, the base. Okay, fine, there's loads to do. But it feels like hardly anything left to do. But in reality, I know there's loads. Just doesn't feel like it. Memo to self, try out contrast paints. Sooner rather than later. I mean, I did paint some, what are they called? Savage Orcs with contrast paints, but very basic. They could really do with like highlighting and stuff on them. All I've done is one layer of contrast paints on each colour of the model. So it's done no highlighting, no nothing, just kind of like paint by numbers. Pick an area, paint it that one colour, done. That's all I've done on it. So I probably should put some more effort into them at some point, but I've got loads more things to be doing than painting stuff that's already painted, so they may never get any more work done on them, and that's okay. It's not okay. I have to tell myself it's okay. I did it just to get them done, because I knew I would never get them done otherwise. Just so much skin on Savage Orcs. They were the old metal Savage Orcs, not the new plastic ones. I'd kind of like to get some new plastic ones. I just don't need any more. I've got like somewhere between 30 and 40 Savage Orcs, metal Savage Orcs. So I probably don't need any plastic ones. At some point, I want to do a Savage army, which is like forest goblins and Savage Orcs and Ragnarok. Trolls. For some reason, I feel like river trolls fit a Savage army. Don't know why. It's not like stone trolls are particularly high tech. I just feel like the river trolls fit better. Weird. I couldn't tell you why. Arguably, stone trolls have got like the stone tools, so feel a bit more like the caveman era that Savage Orcs are. There we go. Cool, that is all of the red done. For this layer anyway. I need to do the highlighting. Oh, I haven't done his face. His beautiful face. Cool. Alright. That, I think, is it now done. For this layer. Next we will do the highlight layer. But not today. For you it's going to be like mere seconds. But I need to go to sleep because I am very tired. I've done like 5 hours of driving today. So, yes, I feel like I've earned my bed. Alright, cool. Well, catch you in a few seconds. Alright, let's get this last layer painted, at least what I think is the last layer. That's my current plan, is that this is just a highlight layer all around it, and then we should be good, and that will be the red done. And then, I don't know, that might be the end of this video. So, to make my highlight colour, I'm thinking I'm going to try and get close to this red again. Which red was it? Oh no, it was one of these reds. Close to. So I'm just going to mix a bit of brown in, to be honest. I'm going to need to get a new Rhinox hide. I've used it so much. This is way too much brown. I don't need that much brown. Oh well, I need more. I'm going to need loads of paint anyway. Probably. Am I going to need loads of paint? It's just a highlight layer. Maybe I don't. We'll see. We will see. Basically, the brown is just to take the edge off of the red, because when I did the red before, it was just too bright. So this is probably fine. Yeah, it's a bit lighter than that, which is okay. And I'm going to mix a smidge of bone in. feel like that's probably smidgy enough. I don't know, maybe I should put more in. Undecided. See, again, the problem I have with this paint is I feel like it dries a different colour to it goes on. So I don't know. It dries darker. So when I put this on, I don't know if it'll, like how close to the final colour it is. Well, let's see. Let's put this on and see how it goes. I mean, I probably could go a bit lighter, really. This isn't a huge amount different from the colour that I've just done. I don't know if it's enough different to justify the time that it's going to take to do it. Then maybe it's fine. Maybe I can do another layer. Because it might be quite quick. And if it's quick enough, then it's fine. I really haven't released a painting video in ages. And, ironically, it's now almost a week since I started this video. I said I was going to have a sleep. I kind of had a lot of sleeps. Well, there we are. I don't think that's making enough difference. I think I need more bone is needed. Now it's suddenly going to be loads. I don't think I can get away with putting my red paintbrush in here. Okay, this might be too much. And maybe I should have just gone white. Maybe I should have gone white instead of bone. I probably should. Maybe I should just go white. Oh well. I don't want to do any more now because this is going to be quite different from the colour we just did. How's that going to look? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Yeah, I probably should have gone white. Oh well, never mind. I saw my light flicker then, and I just heard the dishwasher gurgle. The sharing of power between light and dishwasher. It is a bond that goes back to the dawn of time. So I'm told. I mean, I don't know if that's like much of a difference. Trouble is, I'm putting it over the top of bits I've already done, and so it'll be blending without me even kind of acknowledging it. I mean, I'll probably just end up doing another layer. I was definitely trying to avoid doing lots of layers. I mean, I just did his nose, and that basically didn't have any effect. That's what I'm seeing. At least I feel like it didn't. I think it's really hard to tell. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it's fine. and I'm just like under the bright light, finding it hard to see what I'm doing. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic. It's probably fine. I don't know how much I really want to do on the underside. Because I just want to do it quickly. I don't want to have to do loads, and no one's going to look underneath, realistically, apart from me. Right now, and everybody watching, of course. Sorry, I'm concentrating too much, which I think is probably fine, but it doesn't make for enthralling radio. Right, that's his face done. I mean, it did something. Didn't do nothing. It's kind of hard to tell. I think it probably looks alright. I think it looked... So looking through the camera, it actually looks better than it does. Than it looks like it does in the flesh, but I've got this really bright light shining on it. Taking it out of that, just looking at my like normal light didn't make it look... I can't see anything anyway. Right. This isn't going to last particularly long, so I'll just try and quickly get this bottom squig done, and then I'll mix up a new batch for the top squig, and then at least I've got a little bit of consistency on a single squig. Not sure if I like how this is coming out, but to be honest, I think I'll take anything right now, just because they've been sitting around for so long that I'm just happy to have some paint on them. think I should get this squig done before I run out of this mix. So that's good. I'm pleased about that anyway. Yeah, once I've got these guys done and the final war boss on Giant Squig, that's my first 1,000 points done for my night goblins. And that'll be a very good milestone to hit, I think. And then I think my plan is to work on getting my other armies to a point where I've got like a usable painted army for each of the core armies for Old World. Maybe not High Elves, I don't know if I can bother them because I haven't got any painted for them. Well, saying that, I haven't got any painted. Oh no, that's not true. I was going to say I haven't got any painted for Chaos Warriors. I do. I've got my Nurgle guys. What else? I don't have any Bretonnians painted, and I don't have any Khemri painted yet. But I think I'd quite like to do some Bretonnians. And my Khemri are all built and sprayed, but they're sprayed black. And I feel like I just want to do contrast paints on them now. Having spent ages painting night goblins, I just fancy doing a bit of an easier job. Obviously I've used the classic method on these guys rather than contrast. I feel like there are some tricks and stuff to getting really good looking models with contrast. So I might have to put a little bit of time into doing that. Maybe with the Bretonnians, I'll try like making Bretonnians look good with contrast paints. That'd be quite a fun little project because I feel like it'll be a lot quicker because it's just taken so long. This is what, 3 hours now into this video. And I've done the red on that squig. Probably done. I could probably do with another highlight, but it might. You know what? I could get away with that, and I might get away with that. I might just leave it like that with the 3 layers. It's probably fine. It wouldn't be much more effort to add one more layer of highlight on that and make it look excellent. So maybe I will do that. Question is this going to be enough paint to do the top one? Is it going to last long enough? I mean, it might be enough paint right now, but it's going to dry while I'm doing it, so I don't know if it will last. Let's give it a go. Also, I think this squig is a slightly different colour. Oh, he's got all these ridges everywhere. Alright, let's give it a go. Instantly hated my first dab. Almost felt like I should have done his nose a different colour. Oh, I think I've got too much water on my paint because my paint's just receding. Did I even do his face? I feel like I did. That was like the last thing I did. Was his face, but I don't know, I think the paint I was using on this top squig was a darker colour than the paint on the bottom squig, and the paint is just receding away because I've put too much water in it. And it is quite the contrast compared to this one where I could barely see any areas I was doing. This, did I just paint my phone? No, I didn't. I painted the stand instead. It's much better than painting the phone. That's a bit better. Maybe I was just applying it too liberally. Forgotten what I was talking about now. I think I'd finished talking about Bretonnians. Yeah. I've said it before, but I really should probably just write some talking points down. But again, that is why I'd quite like to do live streams, because that way I don't have to think about talking points. People can just ask questions. I feel loads better. And also, I'm in an iron about the what I was saying earlier on in the video about the membership. Like I say, it's almost been a week since we were discussing that. But I'm kind of wondering if I want to commit to membership stuff. I don't know. It's less about do I want to commit, and can I guarantee that I'll be able to commit to it with other stuff that goes on in life. You see, what I don't want to do is have people become members and then let them down. That's my concern. Because I'm very conscious that life could easily get in the way, and I've got a job and a family, so I don't want to commit to something that I can't then deliver. So that's my concern. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the pace with which I'm releasing videos has gone down dramatically. Every week, YouTube does like a here's what you did this week, and the one, or this week or last week, however it phrases it. The one that I just got through, like notified about yesterday, maybe the day before, was like, congrats, you released one video. Oh, wow, one video in a week. That has like gone way down. Just a couple of months ago, I had a few days where I did 6 videos in a day, and that was obviously unsustainable. And right now, I don't know, I'm struggling to do 1 in a day. I managed 1 in a week. Yeah. So, all that to say, life might just be too hectic to be able to commit to providing certain perks for members. So I might have a revisit and a rethink about what I might be able to commit to. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to let people down. There was something else I was going to say and I can't remember. That's why I've gone quiet. It's just me. It's the cogs in my brain whirring. Like, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was. Yes, I think it would be different if I was doing this as my day job. It would definitely be different. I'd just be pumping out videos left, right and centre. However, that is not a thing. I don't think it's even realistic for it to ever be a thing to do, like YouTube full time. Oh well, I guess technically it would. People do it, but you'd have to be making a lot of revenue from the videos, and I think there's I don't know. You'd have to. I don't think like a niche Warhammer channel would be enough to sustain that. I'm not particularly interested in doing anything else. So yeah, I might have to be content with releasing videos slower than I was initially. Which is a little bit sad, because I don't know, I've been enjoying it. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. It was winter. Now it is not winter. Now it is like almost summer, and now evenings can be used for other activities and not just sitting inside painting. That, I think that has a significant impact on the rate of videos, because it's literally just turned quite glorious here for the last, I don't know, week or so. Yeah, I've not been... Well, I've had more opportunity to be outside and do stuff. And also, it definitely feels like a little bit irresponsible sitting inside painting when there's a lot of other things that I can be doing with the lighter evenings and the good weather. So yeah, that is a major factor. So I think it was a bit of a seasonal thing, me having the time and the capacity to be releasing shed loads of videos, like 6 a day. That was ridiculous. Can't even remember what they were. I think it probably was, I did a lore video and a short. Then I think I was doing shorts for basically every video that I did. So it was probably like 3 actual videos and then 3 shorts to go with them. But even then, 3 videos in a day. I probably was doing shorter videos as well, not like 4-hour long painting videos. Yeah, these are coming out alright, aren't they? Maybe. I think they look okay. Yeah, one last highlight layer on them, just to take it up right to the, not to white, but a bit lighter, just to make it pop. And that'll look nice, I think. Ooh, I'm gonna run out, I think. I don't think my paint's quite gonna last me until I'm finished. It's a little bit of a shame. It's always a pain mixing up another batch. Right, just this section now I think left to do, but that doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough paint to stretch the distance. Almost, but not quite. This is me kind of like rushing it to try and use it before all the paint dries. Just means I'm going to make a hash of it really. I think I forgot to do the previous layer on this foot, because that looks quite dark. Well, there we go. I think I might have just about managed to do it all. And there's some little bits on the bottom that could do with a highlight, but will also get over not being highlighted. Alright, great. Good. Okay, let's try and mix up a batch of slightly lighter and do one final little highlight. There's way too much brown, also too much red in the brown. Is that enough light? No, I don't think so. That's probably too much water. How did I manage to put it so close to the other one that I'm scraping bits off? That's annoying, but there we go. Right, I think I probably should wash my brush really and just put it right on the edges because I can feel I'm gonna make a big old mess with this. Too much on my brush. I don't even know where I want to put this highlight layer. Probably should have a bit more water in it actually. I don't know how necessary this layer really is. And how, like, where to bother putting it. Not enough water. No, too much paint on my brush. Yeah, way too much paint on my brush. Oh no. It's really, really hard not to get drawn into just doing everywhere and just doing the whole thing and doing it properly. But I don't want to put the time in. I really do, but like I don't and I do at the same time. I do want to. But I could just keep going for hours and hours and hours, and I just can't do that. Just can't. Like, just one more layer, just one more layer. Looks good though. Even if it is just more carrying on. Can't help it. It's so beautiful. Right, I'm pausing that squig. Let's move on to the top squig. Too many splodges happening here. It's annoying me. Oh well, never mind. I'll just go over it. I'm not repainting it. Yeah, some of this is definitely coming out. I've got too much paint on my brush, basically. I've ended up with splodges instead of lines. And that makes me a little bit sad. But not sad enough to do anything about it. Apparently. It'd be quite cool to get my Beastmen done. Quite looking forward to that. Particularly as I basically need to do hardly anything for them, which is very convenient. I am like wondering about doing some more stuff for this goblin army though. There are things that I want to get done, but I don't know if I should be doing that, or like I say, getting my other armies in playable states, which I feel like sounds much more sensible than just carrying on with one army. I don't know. Right, there we go. I think that is as much as I'm doing. That top one, the highlights don't look as good as the bottom one, but there we go. I'll go over it. Cool. All right, I think I'm gonna leave that video there. And yeah, maybe next time we'll do like the purple on the gums, and then the teeth and the eyes, and all these bones, probably bony bits. Yeah, it's just him who's got the bony bits. So gums, teeth, eyes, bones, claws, and that'll probably be the next episode. That's my guess. And then it'll be metal and stone and base and stuff. So I reckon, goblin skin, I reckon 3 episodes in total. There we go. Cool. That's my guess. Hopefully that was interesting enough. Although I'm very conscious that there was a lot of me sitting in silence, so apologies about that. But yeah, there we go. The Squigs are on the go. The Mangler Squigs. Yeah, 2 more sessions, and I think they'll be done. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully that was interesting, and I'll catch you in the next episode.
Just before you go, if you would like to support the channel and join the WAR, check out the membership section by clicking join. That seems to be found on the browser on the channel page. I think it's probably there on Android as well. It's certainly not there on my iPhone though, and I think that's an Apple feature of the YouTube app, is that it doesn't show the join button. But there we go. So if you do want to join, go check out the channel page on your browser. Alternatively, subscribing to the channel, subscribing to the channel is great help too. Also, every time I say subscribe, I think it makes the subscribe button glow, and that's cool. So I'm going to say it one more time. Subscribe. If it glows, there you go. Let me know. All right. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.